radiallahu was mentioned here that the first lady to use a girdle was the mother of Ismail. So you know girdle, or I had to figure out what girdle is. Yeah, you know that sort of extra like long, you know these Christian weddings, they use those white things, the long ones. So she used it so that Sarah can't see where they went. Fihi nadar, okay? Whether it's Israeli riwayat, I don't know. Ibn Abbas mentioned this.
It's like a long cloth type of thing.
And
Wrap and you'll cover your footsteps.
Ibrahim brought her and
In his hand,
Ismail, while she was suckling him to a place near the Kaaba, under a tree on the spot of Zamzam. So they had settled there, near a tree. Must have been, you know, the typical Arabian cactus tree. You don't think of a nice, luscious, what do you call it, long, big, massive tree, you can imagine. Okay? And during those days, nobody in Makkah, and that whole procedure is mentioned there. Let's move on to Zamzam. Oh yes, this part there. This is the second Ibn Abbas anhu's narration. Ismail's mother went on suckling Ismail. This is after Ibrahim is left now, and drinking from the water she had. When the water in the water skin had been used up, she became thirsty, and her child also became thirsty. She started looking at him, Ismail, tossing in agony. She left him, for she could not endure looking at him, and found that the mountain of the Safa was the nearest mountain to her on that land. She stood on it and started looking at the valley, and we all know that this sunnah is still revived till today in Makkah. Whenever we go to Umrah or Hajj, we have to do what we call Sa'i. You know the Sa'i, where you have to go to Mount Safa, and walk to Mount Barwa. Brothers, this is not an easy task. Okay? Those who've been to Umrah or Hajj, mashallah, yeah? We get blessed after this. And that's how nice air conditioned home was. Okay? So just contemplate for a second on the circumstances that she went under. Let's not lose that. The comfort shouldn't. And even more better, and me and one of my hand when we went this time, we discovered a new way on Safa Marwa. It's a secret. Okay?
They have to come with us to find out.
It's, okay, you have to go on the top floor to find out how all the lazy people are doing it. Right? Anyway, so what happened is, you have to, don't lose the reality when you're doing the Safa Marwa. A lot of people forget why they're doing it. Do you understand? It's symbolic. Remember, she was in the highest form of Iman at that time. She sacrificed for the sake of who? Allah. And she's walking with that Iman up and down, looking for help, relying on who? Because she let her husband go. She never said, okay, go, don't come back. Did she say that? She said, go, Allah won't waste us. But she never sat there and said, Allah won't waste us. Where's Ibrahim? You know what I mean? She said, she looked, she made some harakah. You understand? So Hajj is symbolic. You're making that movement. Sa'i means to strive. So you're striving, searching for what? The mercy of Allah. When you're going around the Kaaba, you should think to yourself, I'm going around the Kaaba looking for what? Allah's mercy. Do you understand? Anyway, so she did that 7 times as we know, and according to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, you do it 14 times. 14 times. Because he says, you know what we say? Safa to Marwa is once, Marwa to Safa is twice, like that. He said, no, Safa to Marwa, half, Marwa to Safa, 1. Like that, and that way it will be 14. Do you understand? So, mashallah, those people who are Hanbali, okay, there's a lot of people in Luton that want to be Hanbali. Good luck to them, okay? And inshallah, we'll see their feet after later, inshallah. Anyway, very great sunnah, and in the end, the Zamzam. I don't know why in this booklet we only got Zam, there's one Zam missing. Okay, you can add the Zam, inshallah.
What is it?
Have I got Zamzam over there? Inshallah, that was a later addition. Okay, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this is Hadith al-Bukhari. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, this is the source of the tradition of the Sa'i, referring to Hajar radiallahu anha's action. He told the Sahaba that this is the source of your tradition. at the going between Safa and Marwa, when she reached Marwa, she heard a voice and asked herself, she took it for people. And the reason why she would run in between one particular area, she would lose sight of Ismail, her son. I mean, Ismail was at the age where he couldn't move. We all know this story, that's why I'm not going to She heard a voice, oh, whoever you may be, you have made me hear your voice. Have you got something to tell me? And behold, she saw an angel. And behold, is Rasulullah saying, she saw an angel at the place of Zamzam. So she saw a child, an angel right near her, the child. And she went rushing, and what the angel was doing was digging with his feet, or his wing. Some scholars say it was Jibreel alayhi salam. He had come, and he had either indicated to her that the Zamzam would be here, or he actually physically dug it out. Do you understand? There's two narrations, exactly what happened, Allah knows best. But if you look at this Bukhari narration, it said there, she started to make with his heel till water flowed out, so he did it. Another narration shows that he just indicated and she dug it. Allah knows best. She started to make something like a basin around it. And some scholars say that she started using the word Zamzam, which means stop. Do you understand? Or gather, in the language that they used to use, whatever language in Qibti or whatever language they used to speak in those days, whatever language she tried to gather the water. So Ibrahim, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, may Allah rahimallahu Ismail. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy on the mother of Ismail. Had she left the Zamzam flowing without trying to control it, then the Zamzam would have been a river rather than a well. Do you understand? It would have been flowing and it would have... So, see, the benefit of a river is that it flows everywhere, it revives everything, get it, around it. Like Nile, how thinking. But she kept it as that, and maybe there's khair in that as well. Otherwise, people will be sitting like we do today, oh, mashallah, I can have Zamzam here, why do I need to go there? Right? So it gets people to go closer to the Kaaba. Allahu a'lam bis-sawab. So anyway, that's Bukhari. Another narration, you can read that later on. Now what happened after that is, remember the dua of Ibrahim salam. Make people's heart turn towards them. So there was a clan or a tribe going from an area called Jurhum, right? And they were coming through the way of Qada. Qada is that area, okay, or on the map. And they saw some birds flying. Okay? And they knew, okay, that when you see birds, that means there's water. So the water had brought people closer to them. When people had come, then Ismail and Islam's mother was there, and she told them that, you know what, you can come. They said, do you allow us to come and move with you in this area? She said, you can, but you can't take control over this water. This water is divine. You understand? So upon this agreement, they decided to settle there, and they moved in with Ibrahim and Ismail and Hajar. If you look at that map, I've put the picture here. This picture is later on in your book. It comes a bit later. But this picture is more suited there, where you can see that the Kaaba is there. Obviously, the Kaaba hasn't been built yet, okay? But the people started to live around the area. Some scholars say we're going to come to the Kaaba building a bit later. But some scholars say the Kaaba was on an elevated area already. Because they've mentioned this in Al-Bidayah. The Kaaba area, where they built the Kaaba, was already an elevated area. Hence, if anybody moved, they would have moved and put their house there anyway. It was slightly on a higher level. Do you understand? So people started moving there, and there was a slight city there. If you go back to the dua that I mentioned, and I'm just mentioning this so that it will make it easier. I'm not making you flick pages here and there. If you go back to page 29 in the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and I've mentioned a note there, it says, when Ibrahim alayhi salam, this ayah has the word city as specific, whereas in this place where this dua is mentioned, it is general. In another place where the dua is mentioned, should be whereas in another place. So basically there's two mentions of this dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, this particular dua. رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا الْبَلَدَ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا بَلَدًا. There's two du'as like that. If you take the meaning of Rabbi Ja'al Hada Baladan, it means, oh Allah, make this into a city. And those who don't know as well, they say, they will know. When you say Hadal Balad, Hadal Rajul means, come on guys. Hadal Rajul means, this man. Hadal Rajul means,
This is a man.
this is a man. Come on guys. Right? So Hada Balad means, this is a city. Balad city. And Hadal Balad means, this city. So that shows that when you read the first dua, it was nothing. And he said, Rabbi Ja'al Hada Baladan. Oh Allah, make this into a city. And the second one, he said, oh Allah, make this city. Hada Baladan. Oh Allah, make this city. That means this dua he must have made after people had already settled there and it had some form of being a city. Do you understand that? You guys understand? Sisters? If you don't understand, you can ask those who understood. Inshallah. So if we move on, inshallah, we got the sacrifice, but before we do the sacrifice, we have to do the sacrifice, inshallah. We'll have a little break, inshallah. We've got the break time. We'll pray our asr now, and then try to be quick, inshallah, and then we'll set down. And this is what you call the main, what you call now, we'll pass the body, we're on the meat, okay, for the burger, inshallah.